Check, check. All right, we're back after my week away from the stream. Good times, good times. Good morning, folks. Quick audio check. Anybody in the chat, let me know. Is audio coming through okay? I'll be watching for you to comment. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there? Sean got the music. Heinzie says it sounds good. All right. So, just straighten up the old crowbar hat. My favorite hat. Crowbar 25th anniversary. Fun stuff. Any y'all fellow metalheads out there watching may appreciate the gravitas of the crowbar 25th anniversary. Yes, Gina, I know there's a delay. There's a delay. All right, so who's with us this morning? Let's see. We have Roman Petrov with us. Roman, old friend and big supporter of Apocalypse Girl stuff. Very happy to have you with us. And Sean O'Neill is with us. Heinzie Cruz. And Gina Bertowski. My little friend. And I stress little because Gina is incredibly short. Heinzie, Crowbar. Yes, Crowbar. Oh, yeah. Crowbar 25th anniversary tour, dude. That was awesome. They recreated as closely as they could to their first tour. And one of the venues for that was a place called the Mad Frog. Tiny little dive bar in Cincinnati. And they played the Mad Frog again after 25 years. You know, it's like, and they can pack some crazy places, but they played the Mad Frog, and it was this cool little tiny thing where it was awesome. I got to hang out with Kirk Winstein for a bit, and that was just like, that was choice, man. That was choice. Love some Crowbar. Alrighty. So, all right, folks. So after a little moment away, we are back and trying. It's actually hard to get through these kind of longer subject matters like rigging. Rigging is something that my particular workflow on it tends to be very very straight through. So like what happens is when I start to rig something, I get into it and I kind of don't stop until I reach this certain point that is at least 3/4 to about 90% done. I find that if I get into rigging and I start and stop on it, then it just, I lose my place. I lose my place mentally on where I'm at. And so I encourage people, when you try to do rigging, like start out with something small. Like right now I'm working on the Basilisk that is a 6-legged creature. Don't take on something like that. Don't take on something with fingers and toes as an early rigging piece. You want to take on something that is very, very simple. Then follow it through to its end as much as you can, honestly, in one session if you can. I find that my rigging is better the fewer sessions. Now, some of those sessions can be long. One of the reasons I tend to work really stupidly long days, in particularly when I'm rigging something, is because I will start on it and I won't stop until it's done. That allows me to get things finished, which is a whole other subject matter in itself, which I really like. I like getting things done. But then the other thing is I don't lose my place so much. I'm staying focused and I'm getting through each step of it without having to try and backtrack and figure out, okay, where was I? So that's actually part of why this series that I've been doing kind of by request on rigging one of these creatures has taken a little longer than I wanted it to, because if I were to do it the way that I really, really prefer, then it would be like an all-day stream. I would just be on all day. Plus, the act of describing it and talking about it while I'm doing it just brings it to a grinding halt. So I'm thinking about that. I'm also thinking about some other things with this stream. And I'm probably going to start front-loading some content for the stream because after a week away, I've been able to kind of look back and analyze where I'm at with doing these streams. And I can see where doing an hour plus stream in the mornings is cool. Like it adapts from what I normally would do in the mornings, but there's also prep time that leads up to it. And then there's kind of cool down time after it where, I'm putting all the stuff related to it away, which is, I mean, it's not that bad. It's a bunch of programs to close and things, but I'm still putting all that stuff away. And then kind of restarting my day after that to get onto other things. And I'm finding that doing the stream in the mornings is actually a much larger time sink than you might think it would be. If it were as easy as just flip a switch, pop on, do it for an hour and go, that would be cool. But it's, and it might not be quite as tough as it is, but it's not quite that way. So what I'm probably going to move to is maybe doing like one live stream a week and then doing like recording longer sessions of my actual work and then cutting those apart and dropping clips. Just starting to do clip drops more often. But the clip drops will probably hit like at 9:05. And then with the clip drops, I'll be available on Discord if folks want to talk. I think that's going to be a little bit better way to move forward with this. It's like you have to be willing, especially when you're business for yourself, you have to be willing to be agile. And if you commit so completely to like a plan that takes, some god-awful amount of time, you may actually hurt yourself by not being able to tweak that along the way. So I'm looking at making some tweaks, considering probably doing like a Friday morning live stream. Starting, I'm looking at next week. I'll have a firm decision made on it by the end of this week as I kind of watch the way a few things work. But what's probably going to happen is I'm going to go towards more of a front-loaded content format where I go ahead and just record a lot of stuff while I'm working and then cut that, because I can do things with that, like making clips from it that are shorter, faster to watch, more digestible for folks, probably convey a lot more information a lot more concisely, and I think that's going to be important. But then on Fridays, I can, I'm thinking that's when I'll probably be doing my live stream. So it's been an interesting thing to try and do, daily live streams like this. And I've gotten through about 3 months of it now, a little over 3 months of it, and kept up with it, and it's been pretty solid. But having that week away has really let me kind of take a look back at it and go, okay, how is this working? It's 3 months in. It's not, in some areas, it's generated some great numbers. In other areas, it hasn't generated near the numbers I was hoping it would. And the most important thing, though, is that it's brought together this group of people. You see them in the chat right now, and a group of people on Discord who are kind of watching and hanging out and stuff, and that's very cool. So I want to keep that alive, but kind of modulate a little bit my approach to all of this. And I am about to sneeze. Pardon me. See, if I'm, that's one of my things. I don't like having those things on out there all the time. I like to be able to cut around that stuff. So I will probably be going to a more edited format. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit this morning while we get started. Um, coffee, coffee, coffee. Always have the coffee. Aw, Gina commented since she was on the phone with the vet for Finny. Finny is her adorable little dog. Gina, you should post some pics of Finnegan over in the Discord so everybody can see the magnificence of the mighty Finnegan. And by mighty, I mean tiny and hilarious. He's the funniest little dog. So, let's see. All right, so let's pop back over. I'm going to head over to Das Studio. And hi, there I am. I'm back. So, I'm going to pop over to Das Studio now. And we're also going to be going back and forth a little bit with Zbrush. So here in Das Studio, just to quickly review, I have our mesh together for this guy. I already did the textures for him. I think I did those off stream, or I might have done some of them on stream. I honestly don't even remember now. It's all quite a blur. But I have all of his textures except for his eyes. I need to take care of those. And here we see the default shape where I smoothed it out so that we could get skin weights over the areas that are spiky much easier. So if I just come in there, you'll see what the final shape looks like. Okay, so I want to send this guy over to Zbrush right now at his base resolution. And I'm hoping that I can use ZBrush's symmetry feature to make sure that we have symmetry forced across this whole model. It might not work. Sometimes it doesn't work. There's a lot of reasons why it might not work, but let's see here. Okay. So now if I send that back over, I can update the base mesh. And any changes that it made are probably so small we wouldn't even notice, but hopefully after I resave this, it will help it gain its skin weights symmetrically much better. So this was the Basilisk. Okay. So let's save that. It'll probably take it a minute. Oh, not so bad. Good deal. Good deal. All right. So I'm going to reload this. Okay. Now let's go around and take a look at some of our different joints and see where we're at. I'm pretty happy with that jaw. I don't mind that it takes some of the throat with it, but I do want to look into some of that. It's taking a lot more of the throat with it than I would like. So I'm going to go into my skin weight brush and change the outer and inner sizes on that brush. And it looks like it is still not quite working symmetrically. I may have to actually restart Das Studio in order to get that going. That's really annoying. That's a big pet peeve of mine. I wish they would do something to really make that the symmetry functions in here much more effective. Okay. Here's that. And let's take a look at this neck. I don't mind this neck having kind of some soft weights going on it there. I think that's probably wise. I do want to peel some of it back. And since I can't use symmetry right now for some reason in rigging, because DS is being kind of a turd about it, I'm just going to follow some lines that I have in the textures that I can see. feel like those make a good guide, so I'm just going to do that. Okay. And let's make him look down. Okay, looking down is going to need a JCM eventually, that I can see. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to walk down the torso. We're going to look at the chest here. So on the chest, I can see that it definitely is affecting a lot of stuff I don't want it to affect. This guy is probably going to take a few JCMs to get all this stuff worked out the way that I'll be happy with. So right now, I'm going through here and just kind of clearing out areas that I know it really is going to need some of this influence taken away from. Okay. Now let's go to the abdomen. And same sort of deal here. Not real pleased with how that's working out. May have to restart some stuff there. It's acting really strange. Take a look at the shoulder. I do not like all that excess influence. Here we're going to go with start doing some manipulations. I also am going to tweak my joints a little bit as I get into them. So like right here, I really feel like that shoulder joint needs to operate from higher up. And then I'm going to mirror that over. All the way down all the way down those. There we go. I do want him to have a little bit of a blobbiness to his movement. Yeah, the symmetry issue is one of the most frustrating things of trying to rig creatures in here. It drives me nuts on a regular basis. Because if you do any kind of sculpting on it, there's always a chance, especially coming out of Zbrush, it's like, what if you're working on an asymmetrical creature, but the rigging needs to have kind of symmetry, some sort of relative symmetry inside. Well, you're shot. You're just shot. You have to do all of it across, even though it should be able to look at it based more on like envelopes than on actual skin weights. And that's very, very frustrating to me. I also do and have done work for ever in a day, in like Maya and 3D Studio Max. And I'm a little spoiled, honestly, by some of the stuff we have there. We have symmetry that really, really works. We have envelopes that we can use, different methodologies for building up our rigging, building up our skin weights, rather, that are just, they're solid. And they're not topology dependent. Whereas with this, it's like if you have any asymmetry in that topology, it can throw everything off and make these tools not work. It's as a creature maker for Daz, it's probably my single biggest gripe. Oh, sounds like a print's done. Nice. I got a plate full of orcs waiting for me here in a bit. Good times, good times. So that also reminds me, I am about to launch the collectibles store. It is out there where you can go look at it and look at the few things that are up there. You can make purchases there via PayPal. So it's 6s1collectibles.com. So I would encourage folks to head on over and take a look at it. And if I see any purchases there, we're not really putting it out there for it yet. But if you guys want to buy anything, I'll make sure that it gets printed up and shipped out to you. Some of it might already be sitting here printed and in inventory. That would be cool. I'll be curious to see who the first person is that orders a mini off there, or a sculpt, or whichever we're doing. Okay. So I want to change my manipulator here to local coordinates. Put a little bit of a bend in the forearms here. These first forearms. I do want this guy to have that kind of flabby sort of approach to his movement. Oh boy, that's not cool. Yeah, see, not cool, guys. Not cool, Daz. Yeah, that junk right there really does make this way harder sometimes than it should be. Gonna turn off symmetry on there for a minute. Let's see if the weight map symmetry command has any effect on any of that. Well, a little bit. There's something. Yeah, let's come down here and look at this shoulder. And I am thinking that I also want that one to go up and inside a little bit more. No, maybe not. It's always hard to tell. Also want to crank up the setting on my my smoothing right there. I do think that will be quite helpful. Okay. All right, that seems to be working out pretty well. Happy with that. Let's clean up some of these weights that have ended up spreading out from this rear shoulder. I probably should have called it a thigh, but I'd named them all the same for what I felt was kind of consistency. It's like at the point where you're no longer working with, with biped or quadruped, I'm like, let's not fuss over the naming too dang much. All right. Oof! Oh, that sucked. Yeah, that's not good. Sometimes I just think it gets confused when it tries to copy influences over. It just has itself a grade A hissy fit. A little better. Okay. I'm not too mad at that. Yeah, see this has to change. I have to get all this bad influence away from that leg. And it's just putting it back because, see, if it does that, then it's showing up that it's like, it's swapping stuff out because the other side also has those kind of influences. So if we get rid of those, now it should be much, much cleaner. Yeah. That's much more acceptable. Okay. I'm just going to go through and manually prune off a few of these. Okay, let's save this guy real quick. And grab a drink of coffee while we're waiting. It's a good opportunity to pop over to the chat. I know y'all got more to say than that. They're probably talking in the Discord. Okay. So now let's start looking at these fingers. Fingers and toes. Not something I'm really looking forward to. I think I actually removed all the weight from those to make this go easier, which may or may not have been a good idea, but we shall see. So let's select some polys there. And we'll select some there. I want to see, well, we can paint with symmetry on there, and that seems to be working, so maybe we'll get lucky here. So let's go to index L index A1. And I'm going to rotate that out just a little bit. And then copy the pose over. Oh, nice. Nice. That's promising. That's very promising. So now let's go to L index A2, and I'm going to just rotate that. I can see the bounding box on it. And I'm copying the pose over, even though I can't see it. But now I can reduce my selection. And that's going to work out pretty well. If it's working out that well, then I should be able to just, yeah, there we go. I can live paint those weights and have them actually work. So I am looking at this and thinking that I need to adjust the placement of that second joint. So let's do that from the bottom. So I'll come in here and actually I need to adjust all of these joints. I hope I didn't just do something stupid. Yes, I did. Yeah, let's go to an actual orthographic bottom view. And go ahead and adjust the origin point of all these joints. Then I'm going to turn on my snapping and alignment to finish adjusting these. And since it needed that there, I know it's also going to need it on these others. Right now I'm just going to put those origin points slightly down inside these hands here. Okay. Now I'm going to walk back through all of these joints with my auto snaps turned on. Interesting why that one's not snapping. A little weird. Let's see, do I have those turned on? I thought I hit the key commands for them, but let's see. Auto snap. There we go, that's better. And then once these are all adjusted, I will mirror them across to the other side. All right, so let's go select the hip, right click edit, mirror joints, selected recursive. I'm going to send those across. I'm going to go ahead and memorize my figure rigging from there. Okay. Now let's start going through the rest of these toes. I'm going to bend this one down and then this one down just a little bit. Of course, there's no skin weighting going on there yet, so I have to keep that in mind. I'm doing this so that I can see it as I paint it on. And then I'm going to mirror that across. So now let's go select the polygons for that toe. And I want the first joint of that toe. And I'm going to just paint over all of that quite a bit. Expand my selection once and smooth it. Then I'll come down to that second joint. And for this, I'm going to turn my skin weight up a little bit so the work goes a little faster. There we go. pretty good. And same sort of thing here. Bend this down, watching the bounding box for it. Go back up and select here. Okay. So I'm going to start by slamming all these weights and doing just a little smoothing, not a lot. And here we go. All right. And there you can see this is a lot of repetition. I'm just repeating this process over and over to get these toes. I'm super happy that it's going as smoothly as it is. This is not always this clean and smooth to do these. Okay. All right. So there we have those skin weights on the front hands, front paws. Let's save that. Save often. Save very, very often. All right. So I will finish the rest of the legs off stream because, frankly, it's just going to be repetition of the same things I've done right there. Let's turn on our final shape and start moving some things around and see what we have. See there, you can see the those spikes stay pretty rigid, which is what we want. I'm going to look at the neck. I know the neck might be an area where I want to change my limits. So let's go with negative 23, 23. And that's going to help keep the integrity of those. Side to side looks pretty okay. I'll change that though. I want to change it to negative 25 and 25. And then twist. I'm going to go smaller with that too. Okay. Here's an area we're definitely going to want to look at. So let's go and grab polygons of that chest. Don't have anything there that needs to be locked in. That's going to be no. And I actually want to peel some of that away from the chest influence. Yeah. Okay. So here we have chest. And I have to be very careful with this. Okay, so I know I don't want it to bend that far. I think I can go about 20 degrees before it gets really weird. Let's try 25 and see what we get. I think it's got to be smaller. Might have to have a JCM on there for some of that. Let's take a look at this abdomen area. And I want to have the hip joint have more influence over that. So, oh, I was afraid of that stuff was gonna happen. Oh, I was so afraid of that. Let's see here now. This guy right here, and where is he pulling? He's pulling stuff from back here. So I'm going to turn my symmetry off of my brush as I get rid of this. Don't want that abdomen joint having that much effect. Okay. That should be a little better. Probably going to screw up these legs a little bit, but I still have a lot more to do on them, so that's okay. So, my hip, my abdomen, and my chest. Can I move them in tandem? Something screwy is going on right there. Okay. Yeah, this guy is being a real putz. And probably off stream, I'm going to pull some tricks where I do a mirror command on a mesh. And there's a trick you can pull where you'll slice a mesh in half, mirror it, and then rig that where you know that it is absolutely 100% symmetrical, and get skin weights on it, and then possibly be able to transfer them into something like this that may or may not have identical points on both sides. So that's probably where I'm going to go with this, because I keep getting stuff that I like, and then I pull back, and it's like the problem with skin weights is it's impossible, it seems, to paint one area. You'll never go through a figure that you don't end up running this at some point where you paint on an area to get skin weights you like there, but it ends up screwing up the skin weight somewhere else. So it's this iterative process where you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So, and frankly, it's kind of frustrating to do that on a live stream, because sometimes I will have to stop and do some experimentation, have like different little donor rigs that I put together where I'll split a mesh in half and then quickly rig that and see if the symmetry takes. And if the symmetry takes, then I can use that and transfer it. I'm going to explore that a little bit with this guy and maybe document some of that and maybe post clips of that. I'm not sure. So we shall see. But as it stands, we're pretty far along. I'm going to save this, but I'm going to save this as a new iteration, because the last time I saved looked pretty good, and I may end up going back to that one. So that's going to bring us mostly to a close, I think. I want to make sure that I wrap this up, inside that hour. So let's pop back over to, go back over to the camera and the chat. So let's see. Oh, we got Pete with us. Hey, Peter. Peter Palmiotti is up. Is on the chat right now. And Brent is there. Cool. Wow, it's nice to have a lively chat. I guess y'all must have missed it for a week. Let's see, guys. Well, I want to thank all you guys for popping on and hanging out for a little bit. Pete, we need to hook up outside here. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. All right. So if y'all have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to drop in the chat before I sign off for the day, let's have those and toss those up. Otherwise, I am about to bring it to a close and see you guys in the morning. So. Brent's asking how much to paint the dragon. I haven't put a price tag on that yet, but it's not cheap. I hate to say that, but painting the dragon. Oh my god, that thing took a while. Let me reach over here and grab him, put him on the screen. But I finally finished painting that guy, and pop over so I can see what's actually going out. So yeah, here he is, finally painted. Brent says that looks so good. I appreciate it. So to paint that dragon, I would need. God, I haven't really thought about the pricing on it. Looking at at least another $100 because it is kind of time intensive and it's a pain. So, and the dragon print takes 25 hours for a machine to pull that print. So you figure 25 hours and then plus the that's on the cost of the print, and then the paint and everything is going to be another $100 on it. Brent says doing some diorama greens on the rock and encasing that whole thing in resin would be cool. Yeah. I want to try to source out some clear cases to put stuff in. So I would love to be able to put that, have like a case that I can, like sit that on a base and then have a clear box that goes down on top of it. I think that would be really sweet. So, let's see. Heisey says, I'm currently having issues with the weight maps on a suit. Some polygons keep getting blown up. Yeah, there's probably a couple dozen different reasons it could do that. Without actually seeing it in person, it's hard for me to tell you exactly what's going on. It could be some things like I was experiencing this morning on this creature. It could be weight maps conflicting with joint control morphs, especially auto-generated joint control morphs that come up in a suit. There's a lot of different things that could cause that. So, but if you want to put together some screenshots or something and pop them into the Discord, then I would totally be happy to look at that and help you out. And speaking of the Discord, I am going to go grab the link for that and just pop that in here. And then I'm going to pin it. So, and Mr. Brent will be pleased to hear too that before too long I'm going to be taking a special kit that we developed together. He like art directed on it and some stuff, and did some poses and things. And I built most of what's in it, called Creech. That's kind of our homage to the creatures in the Black Lagoon. So at some point before too long, I'm going to be doing some using that as a base for some renditions that will go into resin printing, and I'm sure Mr. Brent, you will want one of those because it's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. Um, anyway, yeah, I've got God, as always, I have so much stuff going on. Yeah, I knew thinking about getting a physical version of that would be cool. Oh yeah, dude. We actually just had Janice and I just had guests here for about a week, so give us a little time to come down from that. Also, I decided I'm not gonna do. I had an opportunity to go do a convention down in Orlando. Actually, I think this coming weekend, and it was just too soon for me to make ample plans for it. But in September, and I will get the actual dates together. In September, I will be appearing at a convention in Miami. So if we got any folks who are down Florida way, um, you know, try to come out and see us. I'll post more details and stuff about that. So I'll be down there with the publisher of my book Apocalypse Girl. That's SourcePoint Press. I know they have they have a great presence at is it Superfest? I forgot the name of it. I forgot which convention it is. There's a huge convention that comic book and collectibles and yada yada. Just pop art, whatever. I don't even know what to call these conventions anymore. But a big show going on in Miami, and we'll be there for that. So that should be a lot of fun. Yeah, dude. Brent was talking about his availability, so maybe sometime in November or something. You can come out. Brent's came and crashed with us here at my studio before. Came and did some filming out in the Daniel Boone National Forest, and some drone footage out over the lakes and things. And it's pretty cool. So yeah, dude, if you wanna come out, maybe we'll work out some details on that. That'd be kind of neat. Um, I definitely would like to get some footage shot of some things in the studio, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on with us here that yeah, I think you get a kick out of seeing firsthand. Oh, Lakiji, he's talking about make a fall product of the Big Rock, Lakiji. Yeah, oh my God, reunite the hillbilly stomp. Yeah, so we played a when Brent was here with us for about a week. We went to a venue downtown that live music venue, and took guitars and stuff with us for an open mic night, and ended up going on, the two of us, and hung out with another guy there, and played on stage with him, and we kind of nicknamed it Hillbilly Stomp. It was some fun stuff. So reunit. That's so funny. All right, guys. Well, it's been cool seeing everybody on the chat again this morning. So I did, I mentioned earlier that I am thinking about kind of retooling my approach to this a little bit, but we shall see, what we want to do with that. And like I said, I haven't made any hard decisions. I'm not set in stone on it just yet, but we'll see what's up, and make some calls on it. I am definitely going to stick with at least one live stream a week, probably in the mornings, but then again, maybe not. I might do it in the afternoon sometime on Friday. I really don't know. It's always difficult when doing live streams. Live streams are, honestly, as far as YouTube's concerned, and as far as lots of things are concerned, live streams are actually kind of trash, because then I'm pinned down to that particular time, and it's hard to try and pick a time that's going to appeal to the widest number of viewers. Um, and I know we have a lot more people who would watch, but with the stuff promoted as live streams, treated as live streams, it's much more difficult that way. And I ran into this before when I was doing training for CG Bytes, and doing the vendor development seminars that I did for them. So I kind of figured I'd end up running into this again, but I wanted to try it and see. Probably by the end of the week, I'll have an announcement and some hard decisions made about that. But until then, we're still doing them every morning this week, and I'll keep you guys posted on what's coming up. So before I take off again, I want to remind you guys that 6s1collectibles.com is open. It is in an alpha stage. Right now, the only payments we can take are through PayPal. It might take us a little while to get up where we have more payment options, but I know most people do have PayPal anymore. So, you know, you can buy some of the minis and sculpts that are up there via PayPal. If you guys place some orders for those, you know, I will make sure the printers get running. And so we're also looking at we're looking at different locations to actually move this out into a physical you know, a storefront of its own, where we're planning on opening a small gallery with studio space and then the print shop in the back. So a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving parts, so many things that we're trying to put together here, and yeah, it should be fun. But anyway, Pete, I see he is out, and I too am outie, guys. It is 10:05. Kept it right on to an hour this morning. That makes me happy. So, folks, I am going to head off. Remember, 6s1collectibles.com, 6s1.com for newsletter and all the other groovy stuff. Of course, you can follow us on all the usual social places: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And yeah, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. Come buy some minis, or you know, just shoot me some messages in places and with questions or comments you may have. So till tomorrow, 9:05 again tomorrow morning. I'm out. Thanks for hanging out, guys.